Good evening. Welcome in to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you.
Evacuation orders. Many sought refuge at inns like this one in
I hope you're having a good night. Hopefully we'll get some more people. We're just hanging out and chatting, and between me and Richard, we're just keeping an eye on the breaking.
See what's going on with the fires in California.
Right.
Yeah.
And hashtag news is closing down all the Starbucks across the country permanently.
Yep.
Although my power is on and we're able to use it, I know that just one block over.
Richard, did you just realize what I was saying when you said yep?
No. What are you talking about?
I said we're watching breaking news and the fires caused all the Starbucks across the country to close down permanently. And you said yep.
Nope. I heard you talking about we're talking about wildfires in California. And I said, yep.
Yeah, but I was able to sneak in that last pack. Hey, Dean, what's up? Hey, have a good night, Dean. We're just hanging out and having fun. We're actually kind of watching the fires thing, saying prayers for the people out in California and the fires, and just having craziness. Oh, I mean, this weather itself has been crazy, because I'll tell you, we've had some, when I'm wearing a hat, a scarf, and gloves in Florida, you got a problem weather-wise.
Reporting in Monrovia, Annabelle Munoz, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The next step for those who lost their homes or suffered property damage is contacting their insurance provider.
And there's important information to keep in mind before starting the process. Eyewitness News reporter Bob McMillan spoke to an insurance industry expert for advice.
With thousands of Southern California residents now homeless, many are no doubt wondering what to do now, specifically when it comes to dealing
So basically, it's 5 different fires burning at the same time.
Yep.
Is what it looks like. Unknown how they started. All 5 were started in a residential area, so it could be anything, really. I know high winds are hurting it and making it worse down there right now.
Yep.
They need some rain. Everyone's cold snap. Just push it over to California. They would like it right now.
Yeah, they really do need it. They really do need it. It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking millions of dollars of homes. I mean, I'm looking at some of the homes that have been just where the fire has burned out and gone beyond. And welcome into those coming in, guys. We're just hanging out tonight and just bored, and we're between me and Richard, we're kind of watching the California fires a little bit.
Yeah,
because they got a lot of coverage going on Disney Plus, and
yep. So to me, that's the most reputable right now because it is on Disney Plus.
I personally say we just do some sacrifices and
oh gosh, no. Don't you start talking about that on live television, Dave. You might get them scared and they might do something drastic.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't work anyways.
Yeah.
Trust me, it wouldn't work. Trust me. No, it's between it's going to take with this type of fire. It's going to have to burn out itself, and maybe try to get some rain in there eventually.
Hopefully the rain will come.
Well, I mean, here's how bad it is. They actually had to move the Rams Viking games to Glendale, Arizona for this weekend.
Yep. Which, for anyone that is wondering, that is where their training ground is, if I remember correctly. Is Arizona. Weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
it's
the Rams.
I know that the Seahawks has theirs in, I believe, Oregon. And they usually go with different cities in case something does happen. They have like a backup field that they can try to kind of.
Jill, welcome in. Good to see Jill. Hey, Jill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is so bad, Jill. The videos and the stories coming from are just heartbreaking.
I'm trying to keep an eye out on some of those. I have 2 family members that are firefighters for California, so my heart's out to them because they're working 18 to 20-hour shifts trying to get these things corralled. Yeah, they're used to it, though. They don't like it, but what are you going to do, you know? You work 18 to 20-hour shifts, so you have to work about 3 to 4 days in a row, and then you have to take 2 days off, and then you go back. 18 to 24-hour shift.
You don't. It's a lot.
Horrible.
It's not.
No.
It is. I mean, I've done as a disaster service. When I was working with disaster services, I remember working several hours at shelters, taking a few hours off, and going back after a while.
Oh. I do not see what video you're talking about, Jill.
I've heard about that.
There must have been a video on YouTube somewhere, probably.
Yeah, there was. Not quite sure. I mean, but I do remember hearing about that all evening long about Jason Thibodeau. Welcome in, buddy.
If you do want to see some neat photos of or kind of horrifying photos of the burning that is happening in California, just keep up with Joe Road on his Instagram, our famous Imagineer, and he's sticking around California for all of us.
I would show you the picture I just saw on ABC, but
yeah, ABC is pretty good.
Right, but dude, I won't show it because of obviously copyright violations.
Dave, I'm wondering. I seen something on here that that's from NASA, and they have a video of one of the space stations went over the fires and took some really, really cool photos from above.
Oh, somewhere. I'm betting.
Yeah. Yep. 5 different fires.
Yeah.
Yep. 100-mile winds, no rain, nothing to make them colder.
Nope. Exactly.
Just move all the rain that we're getting, push it right down there. Go down.
That's the problem. We're getting the cold. We ain't getting no rain.
Yeah, we're getting the cold, and they're burning their houses down basically because they're so hot.
Yeah, that was discussed earlier too. I was with somebody and discussing that about It was an old gentleman that was on the house trying to fight it with. It was an older gentleman that was trying to fight the fire with a hose.
Well,
hey, Fries T. Hey, John.
When me and my family had a place up in the Rattlesnake Mountains, we had a fire really close to us. We had to fight it. We had to try to fight it off. So we were outside, making everything wet. And then you have to dig that dang trench. Basically, do like they do. My dad had a backhoe, so he just basically dug a big, huge fire trench so it could not go past it. Make it so they can't have fuel.
Oh yeah, but it also depends on.
And then the problem with that, the 100-mile-an-hour winds, we don't get those around here at all. Not even close.
We were. I was just joking, Jill. I mean, 'cause honestly, and truthfully, yeah. No, I know it's not. This is definitely.
Oh gosh. Yes. I heard about that too, Jill. The insurance companies are basically packing out of California already. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Think how many houses they're going to have to try to rebuild.
Oh, they're going to get hit with this one.
Yep.
There ain't no question about that as far as the insurance.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is they're going to, and the problem is with the insurance companies, they're going to put so many red boxes in front of it that you're going to have to jump through so many hurdles. It's going to be unbelievable.
Yep. This is the West Coast version of a catastrophe. Doesn't happen every year. Happens more often other places, but they get the fire. They get the fires right around this time of year, but they've had it before at this time of year too.
Well, here's the problem with these fires.
Put it this way, Dave. You guys also in Florida, you guys get the hurricanes and all that. They don't get that.
But there's a difference between a hurricane coming through.
But you know what I mean.
Here's the problem with these fires. There's a difference between a hurricane coming off by Mother Nature. Most of these freaking fires that happen in California is started by some goofball.
Usually goofball, but I've seen some fires.
I'm not saying it.
I've seen some fires start by lightning. So
it can be, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this one was started by some goofball.
They don't know yet. They're still doing research on what started these 5 fires.
I'm betting you 9% it's going to be somebody that just wasn't careful.
They know it got started in a residential area that has a lot of hiking trails. That's all they know.
Yeah. We know it's not known, Jonathan. Yep. I'm just saying my guess. And I'm just telling you about 90% of the fires, it's usually because somebody was out camping and
most of the time
they just weren't, and they weren't thinking straight, and they either didn't make sure the fire was totally out.
There's a reason why the West Coast, or Washington, Oregon, California, the whole line, they have and utilize the the chances of having a fire. We have that little red thing that has a little arrow, and it tells you if you can have a fire outside or not. We do not start fires when it's in the red at all.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Not supposed to. I mean, a lot of the fires that come in those areas are usually because it's somebody camping and they did some. I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose, but it's usually some crazy story that happened that causes it.
There you go, Dave. Jill just said something too. Flying embers from one of the older fires that's still going could have started one of the other fires.
Right, but the main fire, I can guarantee, whichever the first fire was.
I don't know. First fire probably got started.
I'm just saying. Most of the fires.
They're having 100-mile-an-hour winds that basically makes it so your fire can jump over a river. It can jump over a river and start on the other side.
Exactly. I know that. That's why you got the fires expanding. That's why you got 5 fires.
Yeah, that's going to be our big topic tonight, probably.
And it will be. I mean, because it is a concern. It is.
Yes, it's a concern.
Thing.
Just so anyone
I'm
was
just
wondering,
saying.
I know some streamers that did stream from Disneyland today. The air quality in in California in general is abysmal, if nothing at all. They require
Yeah.
that you leave on a mask. That way you can breathe easier. So I've seen some people that were streaming from Disneyland. Yes, it was still open, but their air quality there is like you can't see from that far in front of you. It's so
Oh,
bad. Everything's just
you ain't telling
oh,
me that when that happens in Florida,
yeah,
and we've had that happen around. And
yeah.
trust me,
I know
I've
you
been at
guys have.
work.
You've had
I've,
sometimes that.
oh no, we've actually had fires and it where people control burns
Okay.
and I'm just talking about what you were talking about, the fire control that
Yeah.
with control burns, but the air gets so bad, you can see the smoke. I mean, it's so thick that it's like,
Yep.
it's almost like fog. It can get
And you
that
have to
bad.
also remember different wood burns with more smoke, especially in the West Coast. We have like hickory, we have the oaks. They put out more smoke
Unfortunately,
than normal trees when they burn.
no, you haven't seen some of the trees in Florida.
I
Trust
know
me.
some of the trees in
And the
Florida are
worst
bad
ones,
too, but
and
it's
the
not
ones
a
that
whole
don't want to
forest
burn.
of them.
And here's the thing. No. Because there's a problem with that. Because if they're live oak trees don't burn good.
Nope. Really, some of the live oak trees, when they do burn, after the burning's done, they could grow
Takes
back.
forever.
Yeah, I know. They can grow
here's
back.
the thing.
They don't die.
Here's the thing. Some live oak takes forever to burn.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to have
the
fire that you got going right there would incinerate a live oak tree because it's so hot.
Well,
That's about how hot.
I'm glad it's not around Seattle area or my area that I'm in, because we have Olympic National Forest, which is an official rainforest in Washington State. Think how much that would burn. It's all green. The whole thing is. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is bad.
Yeah, and then I could see hurricanes having a warning. I could see
exactly
where I'm at. We are in a tsunami warning zone. Yes, we do have tests every single month of the warning alarm that happens every month. It's never happened, but it could happen. We are underneath the water table. Oh yeah,
exactly. That's
and
what
like they said, Dave, like Jonathan was pointing out.
That's the point I was making.
It could be someone not from California, just camping.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not saying they are from California. I'm just saying it's usually
dumb person.
Some goofball, and I'm not saying they did it on purpose. I'm not saying they did it on purpose either. But it's usually something careless that they end up doing when a lot of these fires start.
Yep.
And yes, it can be, and you're right. Some of the fires can get started by lightning.
Yep.
But I don't think they've had any major storms to do that at this time of year. Out there, they could have.
No.
So this one I have.
It'd have to be pretty unique because it would have to have lightning, but not have the rain that goes with it. Now I've seen that before, but it's very rare to have that in West Coast. It's almost almost impossible, kind of thing.
I mean, I've seen us where we had possible rain where we've had lightning, but no rain at all.
Yeah, here. that's rare for that to happen.
Not all. Well,
we have the Rockies.
Well, that's rare here too.
We have the Rockies right next to us, so does California. Canadian Rockies, sorry. They go through Washington State, go through California. The Napa Valley is part of the Rockies, if you look into it. Officially, because it's the mountain range.
There you go. And see, that's it, Tyler. And there's that too. there's a million and one reasons why the fire started. I just know a lot of times, it's because someone does something careless camping.
Yep.
Especially if they
But
find out it starts in the woods. If it starts
I'm
in the
sorry,
woods,
but for a lot of I'm sorry, Dave, but for a lot of that, I could see that turning horribly bad because burning plastic does harm you with the smoke.
well, that has
burning wood
nothing to do with burn.
burning wood does not as much. Burning plastic puts fumes in the air.
Here's the problem. It has nothing to do with the plastic. It's usually some stupid careless thing they do about not making
I
sure the
know.
fire's put out. But but you are right about the plastic. I agree, fully agree. And then of
Yeah.
course Neil is right too. Down power lines in a dry bush can start cause fires. So
That's true.
it could
And that brings up a whole different point though, Dave, because if you consider this, there was the 100-mile winds before the fire started.
and that could have been it too. And that might have been it.
Pull down, started in a fire, electricity a little bit. There it
And as
is.
the winds, right. And with the winds, it makes
Yep.
the embers blow, which
Yep.
spreads
And then
the fire,
they
which
just
spreads.
they expand
And the embers
whenever
spread.
wind hits them, especially not with rain. Yes.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a good point there too. So it'll be curious to see. It'll be curious to see what they find out at the end.
Yeah.
Of this
Exactly.
when they can
Look at what Jill
investigate.
just put. California loves its palm trees, and they are just basically nothing more than just kindling to the fire. It fuels it.
Well, if I had my way, every palm tree that we have at our school, California can have.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well,
at least at our school. I won't say the rest of the state, just at our school, because I hate taking care of.
Don't you get coconuts in some of yours, Dave? I know there's some coconuts that are grown in Florida.
Probably down south, not the ones up north.
Okay, more south then.
The ones that the only ones up north where I work at the school that we have 10 million of them.
Yeah,
is nothing but a pain in the butt trying to keep the palm things trimmed.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
but
I'm feeling sorry for the people that are over in California. Like I told Dave, I've sent some care packages. That was to my family members that are fighting the fires in California.
Yeah.
There's about 3 to 4 of them.
It is whole bad. Prayers out to all of them. I mean, it's
yep,
crazy.
Their families went away because they wanted to be more safe, and the 3 husbands just stayed with the fire department, and they always help them out when there ever is big fires, and this year is one of them. So you never know what year it's going to be. Some years
you don't.
Some years they don't have any fire at all. Other years they have 7, 8 to 10 fires all at once. How are you supposed to fight that?
And usually a lot of your fires in California usually are during the summertime when you got the heat and all that going on.
And
usually not this time of year.
Not this time of year, usually.
But it can happen.
Unnaturally dry. It's a very unnaturally dry summer, though, or dry winter, I guess you can call it. There has not been much rain over there,
and it can happen that way too. So
yes, we like it when it rains over there because guess what? That makes everything green. Green means it does not burn as much or as well.
So Cargo, it's Cargo. Welcome in. Long time no see, my friend. Hello.
Oh, we caught her at the end of her shift from work.
Oh, well, there you go. What a good way to end the night. Come on in and hanging out with us. I mean, it is. It's this whole thing is scenario.
It's blown out of the water. Like I said, the cheapest way to keep in touch or keep in looking at what the fire is doing is to go onto Disney Plus and then let's look up. I believe it's Fire. What are they calling it, Dave? Fire researchers or something like that.
Hold on, let me find out.
Yeah, if you figure out the exact name, it's always a live stream that talks about the California fire.
They just got Western Fires, ABC
Western
News,
Fires.
Live.
Okay, they changed up
Western,
the name then.
Western Wildfires.
Yeah. So, sending my prayers to everyone that has encompassed. So.
Yeah. So. Yep, that's what they're calling it. Western Wildfires.
Yep. I was watching yesterday's Fire Watch, and it was right above. It was the neatest thing, Dave. I'm sorry, it was kind of scary, but it was the neatest thing. The fire was right behind the Hollywood sign. I'm talking like it's right there.
Did you see what Joe just said? The latest fire started 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that's the latest. Yeah, but I was watching the Hollywood one. I think they got that under control somewhat, not all the way, mostly.
And hello, Donalo.
But it was just the photo of looking at the Hollywood sign, and then it's like illuminated because of the fire behind it. It looks so beautiful, but I'm like, oh, that's scary. You know,
it wouldn't be beautiful to me if there was a fire that way.
That close to Hollywood?
No, thank you. I'm out of here.
No, that close to Hollywood. I'm evacuated. Before they even evacuate you, I'm evacuated. I'm heading out of that city.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, there is a lot of celebrities. One of them that did stay is our one and only Joe Road. He does have a home up in Hollywood Hills. He's staying, and he's helping out other people around his community that are in need. So hopefully a lot of things don't get burned down, but
I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I said, Dave, around that area, the Hollywood Hills of yesterday, that is like $23 to $28 million houses all over in that area.
It is. Well, this is going to be a devastating fire again.
Yeah.
Again, and it's hard.
The good thing is, if you have that much money, you put in a fire. Fire insurance. You have the fire insurance if you have that much money, probably. High chance.
If they got that much money, who needs the fire insurance? They got enough.
That's true, but they would probably have the fire insurance, and then
they probably do.
Yeah, get it.
Of course,
right back up, right back where it was.
But I mean, you're gonna have millions and millions of people that.
Yeah. Yep. So James Woods and Paris Hilton lost theirs so far. I know everyone who watched. I believe it was on Discovery of 2 years ago, and it was called Invincible or something like that. But it was with Zac Efron. He lost his home this year, so yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's never a good thing with these fires.
No.
And what ticks me off is I love nature. What ticks me off is especially it depends on what they find. I mean, when it comes to these fires, and a lot of times
we know it expands because they don't have enough rain. That's the main point of it. 100-mile winds, that probably doesn't help. It hurts. That hurts a lot.
Well, a lot of the time these fires
house, however far away, because of the 100-mile-an-hour winds.
And the problem is, until those winds die down and they basically can't put it. There's not enough water or firefighters put it out. They pretty
Nope.
much only can fight it and try to keep them from jumping
Keep them corralled.
their fire lines.
Save as many people as you can. They're the lifesavers right now.
It pretty much has to die out itself, basically.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, no matter what it does, you're talking a lot, and
yeah,
and so far, and from what it said, it says there's only. I haven't really seen if there's any fatalities. I think they said there was 2 that at this point
it
that
might
they're
be
aware
some
of.
fatalities, but I think they've done a pretty good job of keeping people safe.
From what I saw on this, I think there's been 2 fatalities reported.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say there's not more because the fire is so big, you don't know for sure.
There's more than one fire is why the problem is. How are you supposed to keep up with all 5, let alone more that start?
Yeah, because it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Lots of wishes sent over to California today.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, no matter where you look at it, with California, you got forest fires and earthquakes over there.
Yep.
With Florida, you got hurricane season.
Yep.
With the New England states, you get
hurricanes. Hurricanes and blizzards.
You get the hurricanes. You get the hurricanes and the blizzards up in the Northeast. Yeah. Oh no! Well, they get the blizzards.
You know what? You get New England states.
They get less hurricanes, but they get the blizzards for sure.
They get the blizzards.
Hurricanes
whiteout.
is a hit and miss.
Yeah,
but hurricanes is a hit and miss. But the blizzards during the wintertime, they get buried. Those states in the New England area, they get buried under snow quite a bit.
Yeah, and they get no power because buried underneath the snow.
Let's see. Getty Museum was in danger, as was. I'm sure it was, Jill.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, they got that area. So they got that area under control.
Yeah, once something pops up, they go out there as quick as possible and take care of it.
But it is definitely out of it. It is definitely most likely containing. Well, that's why we got Disney, I guess, to distract us for a while.
I guess so.
I mean,
it turned out bad enough that the Universal, because it was only one road that was separating Universal from one of the fires. It was right there. So Universal shut down about 2 days ago. They're going to open back up, I believe, tomorrow.
Oh, really, Jill? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, geez. No, thank you. Whenever I see a fire around here, that means go another route. It means go around it. Doesn't matter if it's a 3-hour endeavor instead of just 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, they were showing people driving by major fires along the road here just a minute ago.
Oh, yeah. They showed one of the California roads, the highway, and that people just basically left their car in the middle of the highway, parked it, and walked away, basically, because the fire was right there. It was devastating. There's some photos of that, and it kind of almost looks like post-apocalyptic almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
All said and done, it's going to be a bad thing overall. I mean, there's...
Yeah.
But, what can you say? I mean, it is what it is. And all you can do is say prayer for it, and
Yep.
hopefully they can get this thing
Hope for
put
the
out
best
and
for 'em.
contained.
Yeah.
Thing, I'm praying, hopefully none of the Disney community is in harm's way over there over this thing either.
I only can think of one person. I know Carla and Kika are okay. They're not around the area when it happened, so they're staying away because they're from California.
Yeah,
There
I know
was what is their name?
I know. Okay, so
Oh,
see, Jill said there's 5 dead in the Altadena fire.
okay. I didn't really
So
research it, so
yeah, no, and I like I said, I saw 2 that was out of 1 fire,
yep.
but then like you said, you got 5 different fires going on, so
Yeah.
it's hard to keep up the amount of, it's hard to keep up with the 5 different, I mean, it's just outright crazy and ridiculous. Oh, here they go. So apparently, I guess it is a total of 5. So I don't know if they're just talking 1 fire or if this is the whole thing. I think right now it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Wow. Well, have a good dinner, Jill. But no, this is. Oh well. There's monarch moments. There's pepper. See, I don't know where they exactly are in California. So I mean, I don't. Hopefully, they're not in those areas. You got monarch moments.
Yep.
You got Pip and
PVTV.
yeah, and I can think of
Yeah.
magically I know magically consume, but I don't know I don't know exactly.
They're not
Exactly
in the city right now. They were on a vacation when it happened. Magically Consumed was. Yeah.
Oh, you know that. Okay, so
Yeah. Some of those
but
people I try to keep in touch with. Carla and Kiko are fine. Magically Consumed is fine. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if they live in that area, so I don't know if they were in the fire.
PTV is fine, but they streamed on Monday, but I know pretty sure that they might still be in California. They might have some up insights.
Oh, they would.
Yeah. So, celebrities among those who have lost their homes. Billy Crystal lost his home, Hollywood Hills. Paris Hilton, because she that was in Malibu and it got burned down.
I mean, I'm looking at homes right now, and it's devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even sure what is worse, a fire
Will
or a
Rogers'
hurricane.
Will Rogers' old home. No one's living in it right now. It got burned down.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a historic one.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, that's all I know of so far for the celebrity homes that got hit.
Well, that's good. Hopefully, it's minimal. I mean, it's
bad.
It's bad enough that anybody had to lose their home, but
yeah, that's true. At least it was an area that is kind of notorious for it. The firefighters right around this area are used to trying to put these things out. So each year gets a little worse. They've had big fires in California.
Yep. So, I mean, so all we can do is pray and
Yeah, I expected that was gonna happen, Jonathan. I've seen that. I've
Yeah,
seen some of those. I'm just like, "Ugh,
yeah.
whatever, you know. There's gonna be
I mean,
people like that.
and I can't. Unfortunately, people do that. I don't do
Yep.
it all the time, but like this last hurricane that I was at working at the shelter, I was I decided to just post of what the trees and the rain looked like as the hurricane was passing through,
Yeah.
and just so that in case some people didn't realize how bad it could actually be.
Yep.
And I'm telling you,
Yeah, this
for
isn't
the I mean,
the weirdest thing, Dave, is your guys' hurricanes. This is the third year in a row you've had ones that have came in and went into Florida, basically.
yeah, one right after another after another,
I
and
know. I'm like,
in
what the heck? 4 years
5 weeks
ago,
we had
4
three
years ago,
hurricanes
I
in
don't think
five
it was
weeks.
even possible, was it? It would never
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
I
It
just
had.
it was
The only
not that
difference
much then.
well, it's possible for a hurricane to on top of a hurricane on top of the hurricane, but never had I seen it take the same patterns that it
Yeah,
had
yeah,
previous ones. Because now remember in 2004, 2005, that's when I started working with Red Cross. We had three hurricanes within
yeah,
4 weeks, and but one hit one hit the central, two hit the panhandle.
yep.
Um, so it is possible, but this one I've never seen anything like this in all the years I've been down here, and maybe it's happened in years
Past,
before,
but
but in years past, but I don't think I've ever seen it where it's taken one hurricane followed the same track of another hurricane,
yep.
and and then the third one decided to cut across the central part.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what the heck? Those guys are getting hit big this time.
Yeah,
Well, at least with those, yes, it's a hurricane. The more hours that it is on land, the less power it gets. Because I know they it starts to dwindle down after a while because it has nothing to fuel it.
Marlin streamed the whole thing, which helped others win, and where it comes, that is the difference. Well, people better understand this. Hurricanes are
Yeah,
unpredictable. I don't give a darn what anybody says.
but they can have they
They
know
can,
when it is coming because they can kind of rely
yeah,
on the wind
and
to show it.
they know they can't
They can watch the air patterns in the air
they
pretty
well
close
and
in
they
a way.
can precisely almost guess the pattern of where it's coming in, not the
Yes.
exact. They just can't guess the exact spot because it's still hurricanes are still unpredictable. It's like a wildfire. You
Yeah.
don't know where the wildfire is going to jump or go.
Well, I know
I
they
like the movie. Let's
what
see.
was it? They evacuated a west coast Florida town city because it was right in the middle of the hurricane area. San Jose? No.
No, I don't
I
know.
think it
But I
was last
remember.
year. Yeah, it was last year.
I don't remember, but I remember. I remember
I have
that.
to look at this. If I
What
look at a
was it
map,
about
I know
2 years
what town I'm
ago?
talking about.
If I remember 2 years ago when we had a hurricane that came through, it pretty much wiped out Punta Gorda, which is
Yeah.
on the Gulf side. And they're still trying to rebuild from that one pretty much.
I think it was St. Petersburg / Tampa. That's where it started over at one time.
Well, that was probably one of the hurricanes because a lot of them came
Yeah,
up there.
because that would have been the
That
one that
was
went right towards Orlando,
that. Yeah, that's the
and
one.
then
That was
it
the third one.
swiveled kind of afterwards.
That was the third one.
Yeah, I remember that a
That
little
was
bit.
the one. That was the one right after Helene. I can't remember that
Yep.
name because Debbie was the one that took out my house in August.
Oh,
Then Helene followed the same pattern, almost the same pattern as Debbie. And then
Yep.
the third one came in shortly, about a week after that, and that's the one that went across the central portion of Orlando or Florida.
Yeah.
And it brought lots of rain, just not a lot of wind. As where actually, you know what was crazy was the first one, the one that destroyed my house. It didn't bring a lot of rain,
Yeah.
but it brought heavy winds.
Heavy wind.
The second one was a mixture of heavy winds and rain, and then the third one was more heavy rain than it was winds.
Talking about this year, this year they made a continuation of a movie called Twisters 2. Came out this year for the movie, and it depicted very, very strong winds on that one.
Yes, exactly.
Good movie. If you're really into predicting, like weather chasing,
Right.
I guess you can call it.
Right.
Storm chasing, weather chasing.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie if you want to dive into that, because they talk all about the new technology in the new one, where they had drones that basically they follow the pattern of the air, and it tells exactly where it's going to turn and everything else, because they can read it better if there's drones up there tracking it, I guess you could call it, using GPS. It's an interesting concept. Yeah. Eye-opening.
Yeah. But
yeah, I'm having my watching all those fire things. I'm just hoping that everyone comes out safe and okay,
yeah, that's the important thing. I mean,
Yeah.
It's all crazy.
Yep.
But so at least, this the whole weather. This whole winter thing is crazy going on right now.
A lot of people around my area are saying the name El Nino. It's the strange year. I believe it already.
Well,
I'm thinking we're going to have this year. We're going to have more hotter summers and more colder winters than usual. It's going to be a weird year, I think.
I don't know if
they always put some kind of name to it, and it's El Nino.
My question is, when did they start naming all these freaking winter storms? They never did that. For years, they never put winter named storms, but this year they have 3 winter named storms. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I think it has to matter with how much wind and how much devastation it causes. If they're going to name it,
and you know what?
It needs to have it.
That's only been started within the last few years, because when I was growing up, a storm was a storm. They were just saying they didn't have names for these storms when I was growing up. That's the crazy thing of it.
Hey, they're just trying to make it so it's easier for you to remember what the name of that storm is called then.
Listen,
you don't have to call it storm number. Okay, you don't have to do it like you did last year, and you're like, okay, storm number 1, storm number 2, and storm number 3, because it was 3 different storms or 3 different hurricanes that went through there.
And here's my thing. here's my thing. I don't care about the name of the storm.
I understand
just tell me this storm is going to do this. You need to prepare or get the heck out of Dodge, and I'll be fine and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Well, I'm.
Yep.
But yeah, it the whole thing is crazy. Ooh, and nuts, But definitely hats off to the families and oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bag and I have keys in my hand, one hand, and I have my phone in the other hand, and I'm trying to ground. I use the phone for lights, so turning the lights. You told me sit right, had it on there. I know, I didn't really think about it. It hasn't become a thing. Right there. I think it's more mental than anything else. Right where that ramp is, to see this.
Yeah. How bad is your cold snap right now for Florida? Because I know you guys been having halfway cold weather.
Well, listen,
More than normal.
When I'm having to wear a scarf, gloves, and a toboggan hat, it's freaking cold.
It is.
That's
it's
cold.
the weirdest.
It's
Already.
it's Florida.
It's only a week into the new year. Okay. It is already one of the weirdest years I've seen for our area. We're having 60-degree weather. Usually, it's right around 30 at this time.
Yeah, this whole thing.
It's a weird year already. Yeah.
Yeah, weather-wise for everybody.
Yep.
I mean, they're
the whole East Coast is having a cold freeze right now. I know.
Yeah, but it's usually they never named.
I know Jersey's having a lot of snow right now. They're basically stacked underneath of it.
The only thing about that, Jonathan, is I've never known them to name winter storms. I've only known them to name hurricane storms, never winter storms.
Yeah. If winter storms were started to do just as amount as damage as the other storms, then they're going to name it.
I have nothing to. Well, I'm like this. I have nothing against it. I'm just not used to. I didn't realize till today. Me and a coworker were talking, and we didn't realize today that they started naming winter storms.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, and we found it weird because we were used to growing up. They never used to. Back in our day, they never really named winter storms.
Oh, Debbie wants us to start over now.
Start over?
Yep, she just got here.
What the world are you talking?
Right there. Hello, my dearest sweet friends. I'm so sorry I'm late. Start over now.
Well, we can always start over.
Yeah. We've been talking about one topic the whole time. California fires.
Yeah, we've been talking about fires all night.
Yeah, the whole fire. That's going to be the big topic tonight. Sending wishes to anyone that is impacted by this devastation.
Sending prayers to the families and the people and the first responders out in California right now that are they're all in this destructive.
Yeah. Hopefully none of my family gets hurt, but it's part of their job.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Somebody's making me laugh. Yeah, it's
Yeah. I don't know when they started to do the winter storms. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and if they really didn't really use it too much back in the day when I was growing up.
Oh, I
And
wish
they
we
might
still had
have.
someone that knew more about that at this time, but she's been away for a few years, so Miss Jessie, obviously. She would have known all about this, Dave. You know that.
Yeah, Debbie did a good job on Pete's stream tonight. She really did. Yeah, it's
Okay, Dave. I'm heading out of here. They're knocking on my door.
well, if Debbie's still, you know what, Debbie, if you would like to come in and hang out for a little while, or Jonathan, if you want to come in.
Yeah, she did.
Um,
she went into the storm chase a little bit. I could see her doing that.
Yeah, she was always into the storm chaser, but she was more the behind scene.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you want to come in, Debbie, the link is in the mod chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so Richard. Okay, Debbie, I'll still be here. But anyways, well, we'll talk about something else. We've done enough. We've done enough storm chasing and everything else, and where are we at? And there's Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, I just muted my TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely mute it.
For you. I should turn it this way, guys. That will help.
How was my trip to Michigan? Very, very warm, very interesting, and very good because it was warm all weekend. It frickin' figures it would start getting cold when I got back to Florida. We had a couple of good days when I got back to Florida, and then all of a sudden it got cold again. I'm like, really? I come home to the warm. I come home to my supposed to be 70 degrees, and it decides to get cold when I go back to work.
Is there a way to more settings? No, there isn't. Okay. How do I get out of this? Oh, there we go. It's not like Zoom where I can put a background easier. It's probably a setting in here somewhere. I don't know.
The what?
That's good. No, on Zoom I can easily pick a background. This one, because I'm on your StreamYard, I don't think it gives me the option right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's StreamYards don't have the best options in them in a thing. But what's going on up in what's going on up there in Canada world?
Not much. I got one more Christmas party still to do.
Christmas? Are you kidding? We're beyond Christmas.
Well, I told you I had one the other week, but it got canceled because they got stuck in a snowstorm, so they were stuck at a cottage and didn't want to risk driving.
Well,
so it got moved. It's like
okay,
Christmas, New Year's thing now. So I've got one on Sunday. That's the last one. So otherwise, not a whole lot up here. I mean, just cold weather, but it's been quiet for us. We don't have any forest fires right now or anything like California does.
Well, it's, that whole poor thing out there is crazy.
I mean, we're used to that kind of stuff. I believe, I don't know, because I didn't hear any news about if our firefighters are going down there, but I assume they did. Because one of the water bombers that was shown on the news looked like one of ours, color-wise. One of our Canadian ones, but I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, and I really didn't know much about what was going on until I think yesterday is when I first heard about the fires going on. To be truthfully.
Well, I knew about it earlier, but I knew it's a forest fire, so it's just gonna. It does what it does, right? So like, while everybody's like posting pictures and stuff of like different buildings on fire and stuff, I get it. Like everybody's worried, but like, if it's that big a forest fire, there's only so much you can do, right? It's nature, so we're just fighting against nature in a sense, whether or not it's nature that started it or not. It is like, it's just nature doing its thing. Fire will do what it wants.
And there's Kelly. Now we need Kelly in here. Let's get Kelly in. Let's just bring everybody on. We'll put everybody on this side of the camera. Leave the chat room open.
I wish StreamYard would let you see the chat of YouTube, but it doesn't.
No. Hey, Kelly in the Parks.
I don't have my laptop open. So sorry, guys. I can't see chat, but hi, everybody in chat.
Yeah, Kelly in the Park. Kelly in the Parks just came on, so hello, Kelly. It's always good to see our Kelly, our favorite redhead pirate. She'll always be our favorite redhead pirate.
At least I can do my exercises here. Hold on. I'm chatting with you guys.
Yep. Well, hopefully we'll. Of course, hint to Kelly. Check the mod chat. The link is in the mod chat. You can always come aboard for a few minutes. In fact, Debbie's going to be coming on in a few minutes for a while.
Now you can see me doing exercises.
Hey, welcome back, Joe. Exercise. There you go. We'll do
my rotator cuff injury exercises.
I'm doing my sitting jumping jacks.
Yeah, but I have to do mine or my arm doesn't work. That's you can just fiddle around like a monkey on there.
Yeah, I know you're still dealing with that shoulder injury.
Oh, it'll be a while, but otherwise my arm, I can move my arm around. I just can't do certain angles on it.
Yeah, but it takes time and it takes
it does.
You have to keep working it. You got to keep working it so that it's not.
It could have been worse, though.
Don't stiffen up. Yeah,
it could have been worse. So it's like I'm still able to use the arm for many things. Just I shouldn't carry too much weight on it, so I can't complain. But yeah, so I guess with the forest fires, it's not great. I mean, there's a few people in our community, lesser known, but they've been posting images and stuff, and I believe it's not somebody else's, it's theirs. So they've been going around the area. So yeah, you're just seeing the devastation isn't great, but
No, it's not. But and unfortunately,
but it's part of nature. Like whether or not it's again started by an arsonist or somebody else, or being neglect in a campfire like we were talking about earlier, it's part of human nature, and that's why
yeah,
ages ago California stopped having Yule trees for Christmas because they already had
yeah.
drier conditions out there in general. So
Oh yeah.
they were just caught off guard because they were surprised this would happen during this time of season because it never does.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Exactly. But well, hey, we got our own all you can do is pray, send prayers, and
I mean, yeah, there's all that's the bigger issue I think the U.S. should be focused on, but then there's other things going on. I won't get into politics, but Dad Bros made a joke to me the other night on his stream, and only in the beginning, and then he kind of just like walked away from it and laughed at it, and he said, uh, he said, "Welcome to America" to me in chat because
listen,
of
welcome.
the comments that other people have,
Right.
or you're soon to be said, and then Shep said, and it goes, he should be one of us, make him one of us. And they said, I think Dave said that you can't. He already is one of us, but he's just up in Canada, right? But it's a whole
Right.
joke because of what was going on. I laughed. I said, "There's hell no way that's going to happen." I made a joke about that.
Yes.
But some people are being serious about it, but it's never going to
And
happen.
of course, and then of course, there's our lovely Mama D.
Hello.
Hey, where are you? It's so lighting in here.
Yeah, it's
Oh, there you go. That's just a light. That's just yeah, you
I'm
made it
trying
darker.
to. I don't have good lighting yet.
No, it's good. It's good. I just didn't know if for a second it looked like you were like in some crawl space hole with a flashlight or something. I was wondering.
It's a secret where I am. You can't know.
Oh wait! Don't! You're not going to become like Richard and start filming some from certain places, are you?
No,
We don't need bathrooms.
I can't even fit in there. I barely fit.
I mean, my bathroom's down this hall, just like that way, past this door. I can easily bring the camera over there.
That makes sense, Joe, because I know you mentioned the 5, and like I said, when I was watching it on live on ABC on Disney Plus, they mentioned 2. So that's probably the 2 that I'm aware of, minus the 5 that you mentioned. So yeah, that's
Yeah, I have my best friend that lives in New York. Her brother lives in Los Angeles, and she sent me a picture of the fires that are across the way, and he can see across the way from his house.
oh Lord of mercy. Well, hopefully he's
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I know.
Prayers to them.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Hey,
he's
Kevin,
gonna be
Theme Park
okay.
Adventures, welcome in, buddy.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
And I have a few other people that I know that are in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. That's
Oh, I did get a pin today. Oh, yesterday from the mail because we had a mail strike, so all my Christmas stuff got didn't come in, and then
got delayed.
yeah. So Hitchhiking Bones said they sent me mail. It was through their mod chat. She didn't even say she was going to send it ahead of time. She said, "Hey, by the way, I sent you mail." I'm like, "You didn't even check if it was my correct address to begin with." But she said, "I sent you mail." I'm like, and then the day later, it's like, "Oh, when she told me that, I said, by the way, we just went on strike." And then like 3 weeks later, I said, "We're still on strike." We had a major post on, and then I didn't know Jennifer sent me something, but she sent me actually I can bring the Christmas card she sent me. But she sent
I
me
don't
a
know.
card.
I'm trying to go on strike.
Yeah, I've got a few cards myself.
But she sent me a card, and it's funny because like I didn't know she was sending it to me, and I got it first before I got. Oh, I should make sure the address is on this thing. Um, I got it first before I got Hitchhiking Bone stuff because our I guess our local news or our government whatever said that we're now allowing U.S. mail to flow into people's homes that they kept stored at the facility. So she sent me this card.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's a nice one. So I just added it with the rest of my other stuff, and it just says thank you for everything I do. Yada yeah, the standard card. Um, Hitchhiking Bone stuff. Uh, Actually, I can't. I'm ashamed I can't show it because, well, maybe I can. If I cover up this. So the way they send their stuff was kind of cool. I was impressed. I don't know how much I can. Okay, so this should cover it. I don't know. We'll see this. But their envelope, right? First it's purple, like Hitchhiking Bones is, and then there's part of the label, but you can see they did their own label design. The
Cute.
only problem was when I got it though, it's got all that packaging tape and all the other
Yeah.
labeling from the company. It's all just put on it, so I only got part of it ripped off to take a look at it carefully. So she just sent me a photo of what she had digitally printed out for that. And then she
Nice.
gave me a letter, and then actually, in true fashion, there's really good stuff in them. I like to wrap things in Disney paper. So this was my items were wrapped in Disney paper, which is really thick stuff. It's got like a wax on one side, so it's a really nice paper. But that's it. And then it was just one was just updated. As I said already, she gave me years ago pins and stuff like they're the normal pins that she would hand
Nice.
out at the park, right? But then she gave me a keychain which I don't have. They've made a button recently that I got,
Nice.
and the other thing was which I can show you guys, but so is they had I don't know if you can see it, but it's a magnet, and then
Nice.
that magnet was from Garrett years ago. He gave that to me. It's a legacy Disneyland pass holder one, so they won't make those again because the legacy was only done because of a whole issue of changing out certain passes. But I got a pin from her. I wasn't expecting it. It was just supposed to be a Christmas card, and she sent me this pin, which I can. Well, let's get better lighting. I don't have lighting right here.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
There it is. But she gave me this pin, and I thought that's a large pin because it's like it's almost as big as your button, or your button's slightly smaller actually. It's bigger.
That's nice.
And then I looked it up because it didn't come in a box or had a backer to it, though it is a
Oh,
newer
there we
one.
go.
Very nice.
And I
There
looked it
we
up. Apparently, these pins were blind box pins. You know, the blind box ones where they have so many you can collect and you randomly get one. But I've never seen them at this size. That's a massive blind box pin. They're usually tiny. Like you can see
Okay.
the pin
Thank
holder
you,
is so
Joe.
small to it. So
So the
it was
one,
cool. She sent
the
me one
one.
of her older ones. It was nice. So I was happy to get that. So that will
Remember
go
what
with.
me and
Sorry, Dave.
Oh no, I was just gonna say real quick. Remember what me and Richard were talking about? There you go.
Yep.
Oh, you're not
So
late,
that
Fries to
Hello,
eat.
fries.
Welcome in. Hey, good to see you, Fries to eat.
hello. Let me sit down so you can see me properly.
Anyways,
I'm
all right,
sitting.
go ahead and continue, Richard. I just wanted to.
Me and
I
Jonathan.
just had to show that because that's what we were actually talking about. Because
No, I'm done. I'm probably gonna put this in those pin boards, the ones that I unboxed the one time on your stream recently. But it's a nice large pin. So I have another pin that may or may not be coming. I didn't. So I had shown uh the Disney Baker. I had sent him an image of a pin that was going around another mod chat for another channel I'm on that does a lot of shopping, and it was a pin of Mickey Mouse. It's a large pin, but it wasn't a limited edition. It's just a regular pin in the parks. That's Mickey Mouse wearing a space outfit because it said Mission Space on it. So it's a really like oddball pin that we don't see often of older rides or like rides are still around. And so I sent it to him because I knew he was at the parks because Chris was doing his meetup that weekend. It was just not long ago. And I sent it to him via Instagram. He responded so quick and just said, it goes, ooh, that's out? But he didn't know about it. It goes, thanks for telling me. I need to go get that. And he says, do you want one? So I didn't talk to him about whether or not I will pay for it if you ask me to pay for it because it's not expensive. But it's just a hassle because of the U.S. conversion due to PayPal for me. But he said he would get one when he gets over there to get one for himself. So I have another pin that's slightly larger than this one that should be coming. I don't know when. We didn't talk about whether or not I pick it up or not. We haven't done any of that stuff, but kind of like spontaneously, I didn't plan to order it, but it's kind of coming. So that will also go in those pin boards. The bigger pins can go in there. But that was I got this like yesterday or a day ago. So there's my Christmas community unboxing. Oh, and the only other thing I've had since, which came just before our strike, and it's in a box on the floor here. I can actually show this. Ugh. The box have a label on it? Good. No, it doesn't. So for those of you who follow Pete McDevitt and do the Insomniac streams, the last game show we did, the one I won, where Pete even said, I will give 50 points to the winner of this to catch John, and the leaders didn't come in to play. So he just said, I'm just going to give you a prize because you won. That's so far ahead. He sent me the prize. And so he mentioned it on a stream before I got it, obviously, that he said that these are the prizes we're sending it. And I was away for that stream, so when I watched the replay of it, as soon as he said these are the prizes, I just ignored it because I wanted to be surprised what's going to be in it. And I assumed there'd be like a Loungefly bag or like a gift card or something like that. I don't collect Funko Pops. He did send me one. I have a few, but I don't really collect them. But funny enough, this is one that I'm going to keep, not because it came from him, but also because it has a certain meaning to me. So this is the prize, the first place prize. So I would say in general, if you're talking demonic value, other people got like gift cards and Loungefly bags. But this prize means more than that to me because this is Cyndi Lauper, right? And I think they randomly picked it out, but they made the joke.
Nice.
I think
Cyndi Lauper.
They randomly pulled it out, but I always used to make the joke with you that you should sing that song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and you refused to. And I think he picked up on it and sent it to me. The reason why I made that joke is because I was at a cousin's wedding once. One of my cousins, my like in terms of like family wise, he's closer to me.
Wow, Jill.
I was at a wedding, which turned out they broke up like not long after the wedding, so the wedding didn't really go anywhere. Aside from the fact that it was a really pretty wedding, during that wedding, because my sister's not my sister, sorry, my cousin's brother, my other cousin, right? They're brother and sisters. He ran all the drink tickets with his friends. Like they were running that whole part of the thing because so they were handing out drink tickets, but I think they paid for the bartender so much for that night. So he kept handing them out. I wasn't drunk, but the rest of my cousins, who I see every time I Christmas and stuff, were all drinking away. And I said, there's no way I can get them to dance to Cyndi Lauper. It's a great song. I'll do it any day because it's just fun to see people do something wacky who don't normally would dance to something like that because they're not, a lot of them were guys. They're not girls up there. And so I put in the request list with my cousin. I said, Cyndi Lauper, right? I said, put on Girls Had One Fun. I said, you probably won't ever play it because you don't want to dance to it. Lo and behold, like 2 hours later, we're all dancing to it. And I turned to my left, and my aunt's recording all of this. And she goes, "Oh, you're recording?" It goes, "Yeah, all the cousins dancing to Cyndi Lauper at once." And I said, "I ain't missing this." And I go, "Well, why do you think I asked for that song? Because they don't know what they're dancing to because they've been drinking too much, right? They're all having a good time. They're married. If you ask them on a sober day, they would not dance to that ever. So somewhere in our family, there's recording of them all dancing to Cyndi Lauper.
That's
So that
that's
so that
wonderful.
so that's the memory. So the fact that
Hey,
I got this one from Pete made it all better, and this will keep that memory in there.
Very nice.
Albeit
Cyndi Lauper is good.
we were still friends with the now no longer husband, but that wedding didn't follow through like you would think it would. But the other good thing with that wedding is that because he was Korean, his whole Korean family showed up, like from Korea, all in like vintage kimono gowns. And there was a tea ceremony in one room that they had to take as a family tradition thing, where she had to wear 9 layers. And my aunt, the mother of her, knew that I was like very big into Japanese culture, Asian culture. Not because I work in an anime shop, it's because I'm totally into it. So she only so many people can fit in that room, only about 10, 15 people, and she invited me to come watch that tea ceremony, which was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in a long time that you'll never get to do again. Meanwhile, my cousin who was sitting on the floor in the gown, and I was standing nearby, she kept looking back over at me and going, "Get me out of this! It's like 9 layers. I'm sweating like a pig." She didn't want to be in it, but they're all vintage like gowns she was wearing, just like 9 layers of it, like something out of an anime. It was really cool, but that's just like I had a good laugh at that. But unfortunately, it didn't go through. She's now with somebody else, better times. But that's where that came from. There was a memory of that, so I need to put that up somewhere when I have space. So,
Nice.
so if I win the next one, which may or may not happen, I didn't know it was that far ahead. I was hoping to be closer because I want to battle with somebody. But if I win the next one, I'll probably ask Pete, don't send me a Funko. He just got lucky with that Funko that I've looked at that Funko at the store before and I almost bought it because of that reason. So the fact that he sent it to me was like, it was such a surprise. I didn't expect one. I'm like, but this works because I kind of wanted it. So you got lucky with it.
Yeah.
But I have no room for more Funkos.
Oh, I love my
Very
Funkos.
nice.
What
Very nice, Jonathan.
Yeah, so I'm just
me?
glad because Pete's always trying to give out prizes, but he's trying to like give prizes that are useful and meaningful to people. That it's not just like people won't do with it. And he got lucky. I guess Preston got lucky with it when Preston was picking it out for people. Because when he said to me, he goes, yeah, I finally mailed it. It's on the way. It's a Funko. I'm like, oh, so that's how I kind of spoiled me. So like, but what am I gonna do with a Funko? I'm not a Funko collector per se. I have a few. I have more than a few because I had something that was supposed to go to Garrett, right? But Garrett and Mark Moments kind of had the thing. So I haven't found the right time to send him his stuff, and I don't know where to send it to yet. But so other than that, it's like I don't collect that. I sell them at a store I work at, when I help out my anime store. But like I'm tired of like restocking that stuff because there's just 1,000 of them by numbers. But then when I opened it, I was like, this is the most meaningful thing. If you're going to send me one, that you could have sent me. He just got lucky with the correct one because it has meaning. And I think he picked up on it because I always make fun of Dave when he's singing. You need to sing opera. I even did that when we had the round table
Girls
back in
just
the
want
day.
to have fun.
When we did round table, I always advocated you need to put Cyndi Lauper in there so you guys would do karaoke.
Very
Hey,
good.
Cyndi
I'm very
Lauper is
happy for you,
awesome.
Jonathan.
But I
Yeah,
mean, I just want
it
to see
is.
all the guys sing Cyndi Lauper because they're uncomfortable when they do it, right? It's not their thing, right?
No, it
I'm
ain't.
like,
You just do this. Girls just want to have fun.
there you go. See, Jake does it.
Girls. Hey, I remember the one video that she did with Lou Albano in the early 80s. It was awesome. 80s music.
I like her music.
Come on, dudes.
Dave,
even
where's your face?
Hey, and I can do it even as Mr. Wilson.
No, Dave, I need your face.
There's a reason why his face is kind of like blacked out, but the light behind him.
Hey, I gotta do the. I gotta do the.
No eyes. No.
Well, yeah, I got one half of the bosses here. I had the other one. At least the other one ain't here. I can get around some of it.
Oh, she's always around. She's never far. You know that.
Yeah, well, well, at this point in time, a lot of people are probably about ready to snooze out.
Mm. It is late for most, but you
I'm
know what?
surprised.
I
I'm
know.
actually surprised you haven't snoozed out. Pete had you busy tonight, Debbie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stay long because
No, I'm
that's
not going to
okay.
go much longer. I
I
didn't even.
enjoyed it. It was good.
I didn't even. I'm not even expected to go this long. I was
I
just going to hang out for a
so
while because I was bored.
well.
I wasn't even going to stream today because I worked what? I worked 13 hours. I worked about 10 hours on Tuesday, 13 about 13 yesterday, and I was tired.
Wow.
And that was starting at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Well, you need to get your sleep, Dave.
I
Don't.
question if Debbie got sleep yesterday because I mean I'm up late, but I did sleep. But I for whatever reason I had the phone near me. I woke up 4 in the morning and I checked my phone, and all of a sudden, unless my notifications are slow, Debbie
Speaking of
posted
which,
something in one of the mod chats at 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't know what she
right.
posted. I can't remember what she posted,
I'm,
but she posted
well,
something. I'm like,
sorry.
I looked
I
at it
didn't
though.
turn
I
my
didn't look at the
alarm
post.
clock off.
I didn't look at the post. I just saw Debbie's thing. I go, what is she doing up in this hour? I'm like, I'm the one who's up late.
Debbie is up at all times of the hours.
That's why I don't sleep at nighttime, and then like in the morning, just when everybody is supposed to be getting up, that's when I start falling asleep.
I've been doing that recently. I've been sleeping I'd stay up really late because I like my hours has been later towards the evening now. So like I get my third exercises in the day I'm supposed to do. I do them like 10, 11 at night, if not later. And I go to bed like 3 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning, and then wake up like at noon. But that's just because my
Right.
hours of my scheduling of going into work and doing things is different, and my physio, which I have tomorrow, I have to reschedule that. I thought I had it today. I was supposed to go today at 3, and I was getting ready to go, and then I checked where I've written all the dates for it on a piece of paper. I go, oh, it was yesterday. So I called them immediately. And I said, hey, I was supposed to come in yesterday, but I assumed it was today, and I was getting ready to go. He goes, well, just come in tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. So even though they say there is a rule that they say that if you miss an appointment, they can charge you. But I guess because mine's covered by our Canadian medical. Uh, oh yeah, but you won't know
Oh,
what that is. It's what our Canadian medical thing is called, and so it's covered by that. So if I was paying like out of my own pocket to see them, because you can do that, there are people who do that, and paying the full price, and I missed an appointment, then they may charge me. I guess I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'll find out tomorrow if they charge me, or they at least give me a warning, which might be a
I
thing.
don't know. You miss any doctor's appointment, they definitely charge you.
Yeah.
They start for us in Canada. They started doing that recently, very recently. My dietitian, who I'd only do phone calls with, even though her office is based where my doctor's is, but I just don't see her there. She said that last time. She reminded me, "Goes, oh, by the way, not that you missed any appointments, but like, uh, just so you know, we're starting to crack down. If you miss an appointment, you will have to
Do
pay
they
for
call
missing them."
you ahead of time? Because my doctors call ahead of time to let me know that I have an appointment coming up.
We have it on our portal system, so it's kind of like an email system, but you can
Okay.
also message in that system to one of the nurses at the desk, and they will relay it to a doctor or whatever. Like not if it's not an emergency thing, right? So they will give you reminders in the portal system, but our portal system only gives reminders if it's your main doctor. So if it's a day where my main doctor is not always there because he's helping some small community in a town up north in Ontario.
Oh,
So half
okay.
the time I see other doctors. So if I'm seeing a resident, which generally when we go in, because residents are learning, so we always see a resident first anyways before our main doctor, and unless it's important to see them, and then they will go away, talk to the main doctor, uh, what they have discussed, and then he will either come back in with her or I just see her again if it doesn't need to see him at the moment because he's very busy, and that generally goes and that's how it goes generally. But if I'm seeing a resident for an appointment because he's away or something, or just I asked to see the resident because I saw him last time or something, then that appointment does not show up in our portal, which is kind of like our email or like a group chat or whatever you want to call it. It's something similar to that. It doesn't show up there. It won't give you a reminder just because it's how the system is. So you have to kind of remind yourself if you're not seeing the main doctor, even if you book the main doctor, but you're not seeing it.
Okay, no, we have. Well, I see all main doctors. I don't see.
Yeah, I see.
residents.
Well, that's just how it works. Like, so it is the main doctor I see, but the resident doctors are the ones that see you first because they're learning too and stuff. So it's very back and forth.
Now, see, we don't do that. Not down here.
We don't do that down here, right? Yeah.
The only time you see other doctors is if they have to send you to a specialist.
Well, we'll say, even though we have free health care in general, which is our OHIP for being a Canadian citizenship, you guys, though, well, you don't, because you're paying, you probably get better service.
Not necessarily.
No, well, not I'm not saying entirely, but I've heard that in a general thing.
Put it this way, Florida doctors are yet to be desired. You have to really make sure you find a good doctor, because down here they practice and they do things that they're not supposed to be doing.
Well, I don't want to judge Florida, but I mean just in general, because I have family who lives in the States. My cousins live in the States.
Now,
right? So,
believe it or not, Debbie, believe it or not, I've got a good family doctor. He won't do.
I do too.
I got lucky that he's a Christian, and I will tell you this: he won't do nothing unless you absolutely need it.
Well, it's like my doctor too. My doctor's like that way too. Trust me, if it wasn't, put it this way, if it wasn't for my and I switched. I was with one doctor for like over 20 years, and then he suddenly decided that he wasn't going to do much more for me, or he wasn't. I don't know what he was having issues, whatever it was. He wasn't doing anything for me after like 20 years. And so I had to change a new doctor. And if it wasn't for this new doctor, I don't think I would be here today, because she's the one who made sure that I get checked out. And that's when I found out I had cancer. If it wasn't for her, I would not have, I don't think I would have been here.
When you find a good doctor and you know you find one, don't let it go.
Oh, well,
I have to. I'm not saying I don't like my new doctor. I like him. He's doing the Lord's work by helping people up north. It's just half the time I'm not seeing him. But he is good at what he does. But the reason why I have him is because I've been in that family health center across from the hospital for a long time now. Very, very long time. But I've gone through 2 other doctors that come from there, and they both retired. Well, the first one retired. The second one, she retired semi because she went to go help her mother in Vancouver, who was getting old and ill, and so she says, "I'm going to go do something out there, medical wise, but I'm going to predominantly help my mother." So she kind of retired, and she was one of the best doctors in terms of like, yeah, my current doctor, if you need something, he'll help you, but like, so if I've been up to my doctor, I go, "Oh, by the way, while I'm at it, like I'm going through an appointment, like I did feel a little pain. Say I felt pain in my shoulder. I don't know what it is, right? There's nothing big seriously, but I just don't know, right? Like, one day you can look at it, goes, well, you feel it again, let me know, and then we'll bring it up then, right? That's what doctors kind of do because they're so busy these days. I get it, he's busy. But whereas my other doctor who's now retired, she would have gone like, okay, let's get an X-ray, let's do this, let's do that. She would have gone the whole 9 yards from the very beginning, right? Like, to also, like, if you want to get it, if people are looking for a physician, because I have a friend of mine who runs the anime store I work at, but like, for a long time, he doesn't have a family doctor anymore because that doctor retired or something, and he just kept going to the clinic. I'm like, you're a Canadian citizen, you should be having a doctor. And he goes, well, I never did. I go, you know how hard it is to get one now that you don't have one, and you've been let the little dude. Like, if I want to change my doctor for whatever reason, because there's a better doctor, the waiting list is way too long. You stick with what you got and you work through it. It's just how it goes here, right? So, like, my dad has a doctor who's not even, like, he doesn't live in Toronto here. He lives like two towns over this way, but to the east. But like, it's only like a half an hour drive with traffic. It's like part of our city in a sense. And his doctor isn't even near there. His doctor's like 2 hours, 3 hours away up north. I said, why do you have a doctor up there for your diabetic needs? He goes, well, most of it I can do via phone call, right? He doesn't even need to see a video call me. I just give him my blood pressure reading. I give him all this stuff, right? I do my blood sample test. He takes it and we just monitor stuff. But apparently I don't know his doctor at all because I see my dad often, but not as often as my mother who lives up the street, my stepdad, because they're separated. So my mother and my stepdad go to the same doctor I go to. So like we're in our lives, we're circling together constantly. My dad, I update him now and then because he's got my brother and sister and other family that he's dealing with, and it's just like I see him, but like I don't see him on a daily basis or chat with him as much. Not that we're not close, because he is my actual dad, but like it's just like I can go to my mother and have dinner with her any day of the week. My dad's just 2 towns over. I can do it,
Yeah.
but it's gonna cost me, so I just don't do it, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, that's why we're not as close in that regard. But my stepmom worked in the hospital field 40 years, so it's like it's all good. But I asked like, so why are you seeing someone so far away? And I go, it's for your diabetic, because he's like type 2 diabetic. He doesn't take insulin shots, but he's type 2. It's like that. I thought you would see someone closer. And he goes, um, that doctor is good. I go, well, I believe it because my stepmom walked into the living room when I was talking to him about it and said that, you know, that I've been trying to get that doctor to be my doctor, and because that doctor is so good, and for someone who's worked 4 years in the medical field, I'm like, so he's that good? He goes, yeah, but I've been on a waiting list for like 3 years trying to transfer from one doctor to another. And but she told me stories about her doctor, and there's certain things where it's just like that doctor. I don't want to say he's an idiot. Like all doctors are doing the Lord's work, no matter how bad you are, unless you're doing wrong practices completely. But she was describing like certain things that I need this checked out, and it goes, no, you don't need to check that. You're okay. But I'm like, any of my doctors would have said check that out, even the one who doesn't uh, necessarily listen to all your minor pains and stuff because it's so minor. Like I got bigger things to deal with in the morning, right? So you have to work with whatever doctor you have, but like it's just like my previous doctor that I had prior to this one, she would have gone the mile. That's how my stepdad became a patient for her because my mother and me were going to see her because my other doctor retired. And after he retired, we had her. And at one point, he has his own doctor, and we just said because they were getting the shots to go to Mexico, you know, your regular flu shots, all that stuff, whatever you needed, whatever the vaccines you want. And so he was getting it done with her, with the doctor. And he goes, hey, you're such a good doctor. Can we just have him come over and be like, so the whole family's here under one doctor? And that you don't just get to do that right away. But she's like, in this case, I will see if I can make an exception. And it's not her calling, but she pulled some strings to get it done just because uh, how good the doctor she was. So there's things that if I ask my current doctor now, uh, do you got an extra minute? Like, because you got so many patients and booked appointments. You didn't, if you only booked a 15-minute session versus a half an hour session, uh, you're not going to get much. You'll say you have to book another appointment. So when I come in, even for my half an hour, and we talk about my diabetic situation, I go, by the way, I have a pain in my leg. Can we get that sorted? And it goes, oh, you have to book another appointment for that. Like, you have to come in another day. Like, can you not just look at it for 2 minutes? Like, you don't have to do the whole 9 yards on it, but look at it for 2 minutes. Tell me that it's nothing major. That, oh, well, do this for a couple of days until you book your appointment to see me again. We have a chat about it. But sometimes they don't, right? So it's just like, um, I'm not complaining about our system. It's just he's so busy, right? It's just who he is because he's half the time he's up north. So I was seeing some another doctor because there's a bunch of family doctors in there from a different department. And I saw him several times in a row because I said if I go see someone new each time, a different intern or a different resident for a current issue I had, uh, the issue is that I have to describe when I walk in for like 10, 20 minutes the history of that issue, where it started, everything I've recorded down to that new
That's
person again, and then goes, "Oh, your time's up, right? Book another appointment." Like, or not that they're going to
see,
cut you off at the time, but it's just like we can't. Like, I want to go back to talk to someone who already knows that issue. So I saw one guy for a couple of times in a row, and I said, "Can I just see you?" Because I had an issue due to my. This when I was learning that I was diabetic, and I had an issue where like I was fainting at some point, you know, and I had all sorts of issues, and it's like he's like, "Yeah, just come back and see me next few times. That way we can just keep going at it." But then by the third time after I was better and that issue was gone, it was just like, well, the next time you come in, you should see your actual doctor, not me, because I'm not your doctor. He's your doctor. So in the next issue, just book one with him. But just I made a joke, but he's never here. He's up north helping the small community. I'm like, so I'm going to get someone new anyways. I just like, can I not get you because you're really good at it, you know? So it's just like that's just normal, normal around here. But like I've heard from people who are in the States though, yes, you do pay for more. Like I remember I had an issue where because I'm definitely 1 year 100%, but I had an issue in my good hearing. Um, what was the issue? Uh, I was hearing a ring. It wasn't a ringing noise, but I was hearing like hypersensitive. So like I could be in the mall, right? But I could hear every fan going off in the mall. It's in the ceiling, and this mall could be like 5 stories high. And I could hear it all going off, right? I had that for like a couple of weeks. It went away, and it turns out it was like some sort of migraine attack that I normally wouldn't have, or I don't know what it was exactly. Uh, but when I went through that issue, um, somebody I was starting to get that issue. Like I started like my hearing wasn't correct, right? It was giving me headaches and stuff. Someone else recently went through it and posted it like in Pete's Mod chat or something and said, oh yeah, so and so went through it in our community. But when he went to just get his ear checked, just regularly get it checked because of an issue he had, goes just to get your ear checked, to get it looked at and to get it scanned or whatever, cost him like a couple of $1,000 because it's the U.S. They're not free, right? Something like that, which is just to me when I hear that, it's like it wasn't a specialized check; it was a generic check. That's free to us, right?
Well, now,
You
now,
know,
see that. Now, hold. When it comes to that, it just depends on the doctors because I know I was having a hard time at work this past week. My ears got so clogged up with earwax that it was totally it. Trying to hear anybody was getting bad.
so that's
It
what
was
someone said to
plus,
me. I think it was
and but see, it didn't cost me $2,000. I have
no,
deductibles, so
yeah, but it was either Leanne or somebody in the community said to me, so and so had it done. It says your ears are probably clogged because when I get it professionally cleaned out, right, from the
that's
doctor, it worked better, which wasn't my issue. But it says you should have it checked out. And someone then posted that when I had it checked out because I had an issue, the initial check because they had to do like a scan or something when they did something specific, an X-ray, whatever it was, to make sure that costed quite a bit more. But I said, oh, and I said stuff like that for us is free because we're Canadians are different, right? We have our systems different. If I want an X-ray in my shoulder, which I didn't need, that's free. I'm actually going to get an X-ray on my back because the guy who's doing my physio here said, I can tell by your posture something's just slightly off. Not that anybody's going to notice it, but he goes, just go to your doctor, say, I have a back issue. And it goes, it's not big, but we want to get it checked out. Just get an X-ray, uh, and then send it to me. That's free for us, right? With you guys, it's not. It's all an extra cost, which helps though because it makes you guys be more careful of not getting sick, right? Like I know Tina said it before because she's got kids and everybody said that. We got to make sure no one gets sick in here, and if you get ill, you take care of it immediately because it costs you extra because you don't have to see healthcare. We can just run to a doctor, right? Granted, we're
no.
waiting in the waiting room or waiting in line to go to it, but
But then that's
people
when
feel,
you pray and hope you. That's when you pray and hope you got one good doctor that you've been going to, and if you can find, like Debbie and me have said, if we can
yeah,
find a good doctor down here, a doctor's going to listen to you
Yeah.
because I know for the doctor that I know, his philosophy is you know your body, you know if something is out of place and out of whack, and he's
yeah,
going to listen to you because I
Right.
told him. And my doctor knows I don't complain. And if I say something, he sits up and listens to, you know,
my last doctor was like that, where I said something was off the other day. I don't know what it was. It's just a side thing. Like maybe it's just me. Maybe I had a headache or something, but I just wasn't feeling right. And I had a pain over here, but it went away. And he goes, "Oh, really? You want to describe that again to me?" And she would like investigate it, right? My current doctor, if I say it that way, he'd be like, "Well, let me know if it happens again." Right? It's two different completely abnormal. It could be something bad. We don't know, right? So if I want to complain about something bad to my current doctor, the way I have to describe it to him is more like, yeah, this happened and it wasn't pleasant. Right? Okay, so okay, we'll look at it. But if I tell him in the nature I just told you that I told my last doctor, he'll just be like, well, if it happens again, just make note of it. But for all we know, something like that, not that it's a heart attack or something, but people get heart attacks and don't realize it's coming. You say, oh, this happened, but it went away. Maybe you had a minor heart attack, it just went away, like you just didn't know you had one or something. Some people have that, right? So, but you'll never know unless the doctor investigates it, right? But to get him to do it just takes a little bit more work a bit. But it's nothing wrong. It's not that he's not a good doctor. It's just that they're busy people. Since after the pandemic, it's been busier. Things have changed, right? My previous doctor was before pandemic. So when she retired and went away, like we didn't just give her flowers and stuff. Some patients would give stuff to them. My mother went to her dad and goes, "You sure you have to leave? Can I come with you? Can I have you the doctor? I'll live out there." I'm like, I don't know who's taking care of us next. Don't worry, the next person will be great. And he is good, but it's just like it's not the same. She was on another level, and she's a rare breed that came around and just like she'll spend the extra 5 minutes, even though she had a patient coming to listen to you, because that extra 5 minutes, whatever you have to say, could be something important. Like, oh, by the way, I had a pain. That could be a life and death pain, right? So she wants to hear it all. So it was different, but yeah. But I've had people living in the States. Many people in the community here are all state people, but I've heard that just in general, I'm not saying everywhere, but like while we have to pay for our medical stuff, like if you pay to be in the hospital because of a surgery or something, a lot of times you will get a bed before pandemic, right? Before pandemic, and now we're short on beds and the whole issue across the board in North America. But you would get a bed and you get a room versus like with us, like, yeah, the surgery is free for us, right? We're covered under OHIP. I have many surgeries in the past that are covered that you guys would have to pay, and that's not cheap. But like when you're done with your surgery, you're in the room for like the ER room for 2 hours with a whole bunch of people coming in and out the door. You just have your own curtain around your thing. But as soon as you're up and ready to go, you go home and you rest. We're not going to give you room. That's like a whole another gambit of trying to get a room for 3 days. Not that you need it, right? Depending on the surgery. But within the States, it's different when you're paying them to have your medical needs. Not saying everything is great, but like when you pay them, they're definitely like they just give it to you, right? I had this chat with a friend of mine who's from the States, but he's been living in Japan for like over 30 years now, and he was talking about the difference in medical care and stuff like that in North America versus here between Canada, US, and Japan, and that. But when you pay for it, at least you're getting something out of it, right? So there's a lot of people who complain about our healthcare systems here because it's falling apart. But like I don't complain about it. I just be glad that we have and that I didn't have to pay for those surgeries. There are people who never had issues, who never had to go through surgery, so I can see why they're complaining. That's why am I putting so much money through our government and tax paying for healthcare, right? But it's so that when we have an issue or when I need an X-ray, you're not going, oh, that's $100 for that X-ray, or that's whatever the cost is. It's like, no, just here, the doctor signed it off, just go get one, right? So I always take that, like I don't take it for granted ever, right? But I have family who works in the healthcare system though, so I kind of the other side of the coin maybe a bit, but it's just me. So I appreciate it more because I know, like, that's why I know it's when you guys, especially like people in your community, like even when someone gets sick and ill, they get worried. Like, yeah, you take them to the emerge, but they get worried, and it becomes also because of what's it cost them? It cost me when when Dad Bill's father goes into the hospital, the cost is going to be higher than what we have here, right? It's entirely different. So I get that. It's a big deal, right? But my cousin, who I think he's living in New York, the other one's living out by Boston somewhere. So like they're in a better area in terms of like I guess better doctors or just like generically because you're in the city or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right thing to say because there are doctors who are not out there who are much better than doctors who are in the city, right? But I don't know the States for sure. Like my aunt, she was a nurse. She retired or nurse slash. She just ran a small community medical facility. She retired and then she decided to go back out there to help people out in Whitehorse, up in Yellowknife, right? Or not Whitehorse, Yellowknife. Sorry, I got it backwards. It's Yellowknife, up in Northwest Territories. Whitehorse is in the other province next door. But she went up there to do it, and I thought you were retired. You can go, right? Because her pension plan for her being a doctor up there was like one of the best you can probably get in Canada because she's doing the Lord's work in the middle of nowhere for a little small Aboriginal community up there. And she decided to go back up there. So speaking of forest fires, when Yellowknife had a forest fire, they transported all the patients via plane, but their pets weren't allowed to go. And she goes, well, apparently I can't go on this plane either, so I will take my dogs with me because her dogs can't go on the plane either. So she wasn't allowed on. So I will take your pets in the car and I will drive all the way down to Banff, which is the Rocky Mountains. And she went through all those forest fires. So speaking of Jill going through the road with fire off to one side, she experienced that. So if you ever saw the news when that happened last year, she literally had to go through all that. She was one of the last to leave that town. And we said, well, you have a home. She bought a home here with another aunt of mine, another sister of hers, an investment or something. And I said to her, we said, if you need a place to stay, because I don't know if that home is ready or not, I said, you can stay here in Toronto. You can move back down here. And she said, no, as soon as that town's open, I want to go back and help the community. It was like something out of like a Hallmark movie, you know. She literally just said, like, I want to go back and help the community. I'm like, that's amazing, right? But that's the side of my family for me, you know. So she's up there doing it again. I think, and she just built like a new deck on a new home she had, and I think she lost the deck due to the fire or something. But you know, it's part of Mother Nature up there, right? Or anywhere. So,
It is. Yep.
But it's just that, you know, people who are willing to do stuff like that, it's just like that. It doesn't matter, States, Canada, anywhere in the world. You just have people like that. It just means
It is. Well,
a lot.
and they sacrifice a lot. I mean, like I said, I can tell you how many nights when I was working for Red Cross Disaster Services that I got calls at 2, 3 in the morning because of just regular house fires that I'd have to respond to see if we could help the family when they've lost, and I've seen everything from small fires where, we could, help them with a little bit of finances to where we've actually had to put people up into hotels because they, the whole house was gone. So it takes a lot to, you have to look at people when they volunteer like that and take care of communities and things like that. It's special. It's, they're special people.
Right.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
It's almost 12:30 here. We've actually been going up. I wasn't even planning on going this long. I was just going to go do an hour and hang out and board.
Well, when you ask us to come on stream, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be a long. It's never short.
Which is fine because you know what? I don't go to work till 1:30. I can sleep in till 9, 10 o'clock, and I'm good.
Really good.
No. So, in fact, I already turned my alarm clock, so I don't have to worry about no 4:30 a.m. to go to work at 6. So.
Very good.
Especially in the morning when it's cold.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. So, well, Jonathan, thank you for coming on, and Debbie, thank you for coming on and hanging out for a little while. It's fun, and of course, thank you for Kelly. We got to get Kelly back on. We got to get Kelly on here with Debbie on Friday night. You need to come on tomorrow night, Kelly. Wish the shenanigans.
I hear Kelly's going to stream in Disneyland soon too. She's mentioned that she's going to go live in Disneyland.
And make sure.
I can't wait
if anybody that's new to my channel and who is watching, and if you have not checked out Kelly in the Parks, please go check her out. She's a special lady and she does a great job. In fact, she was doing a stream earlier today, and it's always good. It's good to. It's finally good.
I'm sorry, Kelly.
It's good to see Kelly to stream again, and it's actually good to see KDY. It's actually good to see KDY coming in from time to time now. I know she's been quite busy lately too. So, and then like I said, guys, don't forget tomorrow night shenanigans at 11:30 for us insomniac late people. And of course, Debbie, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us.
Right.
And you too, Kelly. You can always come in at 11:30 too, for us late night people that don't want to go to sleep too early.
Is that tomorrow or is that Saturday? I thought you were doing your streams on Saturday.
Yes, that's the Disney Cafe chat. Tomorrow night is shenanigans. Tomorrow night is shenanigans. Who knows? I mean, I know I behave. It's just the rest of the cast.
No, and no, and no, and no, and no.
I know, like I said, I know I behave. It's the rest of everybody else that's on here.
Try again, Dave. Try again.
And then, of course, yeah. And then, guys, Bestie Shenanigans.
Yes, Kelly, yes.
And then don't forget. And so then Saturday night, don't forget Park. And then don't forget next week, Tuesday we will. When I do Monday night we got the Disney, Dave's Disney Life. Tuesday, don't forget the Vacation Oasis will do, but it will be at 5:30 because I'm going on stream with traveling with. Speaking of which, had to do this. Haven't done the. Make sure you check out for anybody that loves to travel, guys. Make sure you do traveling with Tinkerbell. She is a travel agent like I am. She's a travel agent with Expedia, and we're kind of pushing each other's channels out. So, and if you really love to, you'd have fun with her. I encourage you guys to go check her out, especially for people that want to do cruises, because she does do a lot of cruise shows on Wednesday too. So I should play my commercial.
So are you now streaming earlier every Tuesday, or is it just a one-time thing because of that?
Well, I know it'll be Tuesday, but we're gonna work on trying to collaborate on things down the road as well. So
you're not doing it every Tuesday then? It's not an every Tuesday thing.
No. It's not. It's just a special because then she'll be on the cruise line show on our channel, just more like a Q&A to get to know each other. Now we do hope. Now down the road, we will be doing. We'll try to do things together. Channel wise.
You can collaborate more down the road.
Right. Collaborate more. Yeah, exactly. Collaborate more down the road. So, so that's what's everything that's on for next week. So again, make sure you guys come tomorrow night at 11:30. Watch The Angel and the rest of the shenanigans. What? I'm just saying.
You're not the angel.
He's always Curly to me.
Let's get it straight there, Dave. You're not the angel.
Curly is not an angel.
Well, somebody's got to be the angel.
I'm the angel.
I was going to say, it's probably Mama D. Either that, it's Mama D with a broom coming after you because you're misbehaving. That's what's going to happen.
Hey, she threatened to hit me on at the boardwalk that one time.
With good reason, I assume.
I don't know what reason. I was just being nice. No, I you know what? I love Debbie to death, and I'm glad I got to meet her in person finally. Her and Molly. And and of course the rest of it. So I'm looking forward to the Maryland meetup this year when I do get to come. So yes, I'm trying. I am definitely going to try to come, Debbie.
Try or are coming.
And again,
he knows he doesn't. I'll be down there and I'll be dragging him.
Well, to be fair, like if he can't make it because of certain things when you get closer to that day,
I know.
But let's see. He needs to put his money in the deposit, and then that will lock him in.
Well, I'm going to be doing that in the next week. So
that's good.
And then, because then, somebody's got to be up there that behaves. and that'll be me.
That's not you.
Yeah.
And I'll be the one to behave. So I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
we need to have a special edition of of not behaving.
Funny enough, though, I could see him behaving only because like we do this online, but he's not used to being around everybody in person.
Right.
So maybe you won't be out of your shell as you
no.
are online, and you'll be more
Oh,
behaved.
trust me. Oh, trust me. That won't last very long.
Oh, and you got to get him to sing karaoke.
I'll be going. I'll be the one shaking my head with the halo over, going.
Nope.
All right, guys. All right. But
right.
anyways,
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you guys? Either one of you guys? Any final thoughts for you guys?
No.
No,
Just
Paris to California.
But this year, I know we started off with not so great with the California and the snowstorms and all that stuff, but let's just hope this year settles down and
aside from
have a good year.
Aside from that Mother Nature stuff, or if it is,
right.
I mean, the end of last year was pretty bad. So I'm hoping that the rest, like just generally health and everything for most people,
right.
This
is that this is going to be a good year for everyone.
Yeah. Speaking of year, remember, mods, if you guys are interested in helping or coming up with ideas for Give the Kids the World, let me know, because we are going to schedule a Zoom call and start working on that for the end of this year. Like I said, I've got the 4 special events, but Give the Kids the World will be the biggest one, because our shot is to hope to be back in the parks. But if not, our backup plan is to do the show like I did last year, but we're going to run the.
Well, there's a few ideas out there.
Right. Yes, Kelly. Yes. Exactly.
What am I missing?
Hey, I will be. Kelly just said Debbie and her will be my angels, like Charlie's angels. Well, see that
was actually great.
That works too. That could be true, because Bosley was the innocent guy. He just sat in the office.
The innocent guy.
Being innocent. Debbie's going to get me one of these days, I'll tell you.
It's going to be the angel death that's coming for you. That angel's going to come and hit you hard.
Kelly, are you going to the Maryland meetup this year?
I hope she is.
I hope she is too, because then, if anything, I keep trying to tell her when she comes to Florida, she needs to let me know so that I could hook up with her. But hopefully, if she comes to the Maryland meetup, I'll get to see her then too.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, now it is time to go to bed. So with that, guys, have a great night. Thank you all for being here. It was just a nice hangout and chill, nothing major. So we will see you all real soon.